What am? Welcome back to Logix Lens, and today we're going to talk about Ubisoft Plus and how their goodwill has gone downhill. For those that don't know, we have another subscription service coming to us from your very own favorite publisher, Ubisoft. They have now announced they're going to release their own subscription, not streaming, subscription service. Well, technically it probably is still streaming, and all the new fun perks and things we can look forward to. So let's look at this article together from gamingindustry.biz. So we're on gamesindustry.biz, and a lot of other studios have gone back and gave their 2 cents on this article. So Ubisoft has rebranded its subscription offering and introducing a new service for PC player, a brand new service for PC. Ubisoft main all singing, all dancing subscription offering has been rebranded Ubisoft Plus Premium. This service is the one that features all new releases such as this week's Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. Good game by our reviews so far. Check it out if you haven't. If you're unsure, check out the demo, which is available early to subscribers. It costs $17.99 and is accessible via PC, Xbox, and Amazon Luna. Who the fuck has Amazon Luna? In addition, the firm is adding Ubisoft Plus Classics on PC. The Classics option was already available on PlayStation to PlayStation players via Sony's own subs offering, and features a back catalog of games like Far Cry 6 and Rainbow Six Siege for $7.99 a month. We're talking one-day releases with games like Prince of Persia. You get early access. We already have Avatar, Assassin's Creed, Mirage. All of these games are available to play. That's tremendous value already. Sorry, and there's the catalog too, thousands of dollars of games. Yeah. So let's get to the meat and potatoes of the bullshit. There's a lot of debate around subscription in video games. Today, the business model is the dominant way of paying for TV, film, and music, but that's not currently the case in this industry. Games are typically much longer. Many of them are free or feature some other form of monetization, and AAA publishers have argued that the numbers just don't add up. I agree, the numbers don't add up. So we have to come to some type of understanding or some type of middle ground. Most of us are not just openly against digital games. The issue is that the lack of options, the pricing does not match. You know, we don't even know how long we'll have access to these things either. So film and even books and music have figured out all of this. Gaming is just behind, and they need to figure it out for us to accept this. Nevertheless, Ubisoft is seeing growth in this sector. Tremblay says that October last year was the biggest month in Ubisoft Plus history. The point is not to force users to go down one route or another, he explains. Yes, it is. We offer purchase, we offer subscription, and it's in the gamer's preference that is important here. We're seeing some people who buy choosing to subscribe now, but it all works. Gamers are used to owning their games. That's the consumer shift that needs to happen. This is going to get very interesting. I don't have a crystal ball, but when you look at the different subscription services that are out there, we've had a rapid expansion over the last couple of years, but it's still relatively small compared to the other models. We're seeing expansions on consoles as the likes of PlayStation and Xbox bring new people in. On PC, from a Ubisoft standpoint, it's already been great, but we are looking to reach out more on PC, so we see opportunity there. One of the things we saw is that gamers are used to, a little bit like DVD, having and owning their games. That's the consumer shift that needs to happen. They got comfortable not owning their CD collection or DVD collection. That's a transformation that's been a bit slower to happen in games. Hell, yes, you can say it's been slower, but the reason it's been slower is because there hasn't been an effective way to implement it. How is it that I can still watch movies from 1930 something without physically having it, but I can't play a game from 2004 because of rights and all that bullshit and licensing and shit? We can't access them in any way, shape, or form. I get that there's a legality issue, but then there's somewhere that's not an issue. And you know, you got Nintendo trying to make it work, but a lot of these studios don't give a fuck about their old IP, and which is why people keep telling y'all it is okay to pirate at this point. Otherwise, these games just get lost in history. Despite how these companies feel, people still want to play some of these games. As gamers grow comfortable in that aspect, you don't lose your progress. If you resume your game at another time, your progress file is still there. that's not been deleted. You don't lose what you've built in the game or your engagement with the game. So it's about feeling comfortable with not owning your game. What the fuck does that have to do with owning a physical game versus not owning it physically? What on earth are we talking about? Save progress in clouds and shit. Like, what are we talking about? Yes, we have the clouds to save our stuff, and then you also have ways to save your save files on physical means too, still with USB drives and whatnot and hard drives. What is the what is happening? I still have 2 boxes of DVDs. I definitely understand the gamer's perspective with that, but as people embrace that model, they will see that these games will exist. The service will continue, and you'll be able to access them when you feel like. That's reassuring. There's no reassurance of any of this. There's no reason that Ubisoft can tell me that 15 years from now they'll still be running and still have their subscription service model up, and I've spent money on it to own it. The subscription thing is different, I guess, because it's not, you're paying to not own it. But if I buy it online, because they said they have the option to digitally buy these games too, where they're not just pushing you to only buy the subscription service to have access to these games. They also have the option for you to buy the game. So if I buy it digitally and you guys decide to just not exist no more, or something happens and you implode and you cease to exist, what's gonna happen? That is just, with film and audio, it seems like they've got the infrastructure set to where that should not happen to us. Granted, it still might be able to. I don't know. I can't predict the future. But what I do know is that gaming does not seem to give a fuck about keeping us in the know of how we can be assured that these games aren't going to go nowhere that we pay for. Streaming is also a thing that works really well with subscriptions. So you pay when you need it as opposed to paying all the time. Streaming is not something that works well with video games because we're not at the point where it's the most viable way to play your games. It's not ideal, especially for like multiplayer games or FPSs. It's just not ideal. We're not there. Not saying don't keep trying, but streaming a video game is bullshit. I don't know if it saves them any money to house the ones and zeros on their servers, or it's easier to stream it and then, you know, keep it on their end. I don't know. I feel like it's probably not that big of a difference regardless. All this money being saved by not producing physical games, because apparently over 80% of gamers are buying their games digitally now. So you guys are making a lot of money, and I feel like y'all not passing any of those savings on to us whatsoever. I know they say that gaming prices have stayed kind of stagnant over the years, over time, but to me it just seems like, yes, the prices have not increased dramatically over the last 20 plus years, but when you consider so much that they cut back on top of adding so much that you could purchase after your initial buy-in in a game, it's hard for me to believe that they're not making way more money, even comparatively speaking, than they ever were. Streaming is a distribution method that appears to lend itself to the subscription model. Although currently remains a very niche corner of the business, Ubisoft CEO Yves Guillemot told GI in June that Ubisoft believes in streaming, but that it needs time. Yes, it does. It's getting there, he told us, just not as fast as we thought. When you are in a good city with good internet, it's fantastic, but it's not the case for everyone. The Nvidia experience, for example, is fantastic, but we thought it would go faster. We've learned a lot by working with these services, and we're using that experience to enhance what we're doing. So long story short, Ubisoft is now leaning into streaming their games and subscription services like every fucking body else. I don't know how this will ever be feasible for gaming in the long run, because if Ubisoft, Activision, EA, Epic Games, everybody, fucking Rockstar, if everybody wants to start housing their own streaming services for us to access their games, everybody is not the top 3 is going to get the short end of the stick. There's no way that I really believe that we went so hard into this streaming stuff because it's financially the best option for these companies. But look at what's happening. We have to stream 17 different things to be able to watch everything we want. And now that everybody they got to pick and choose what they're streaming from. Now we're just back to TV, where I'm choosing to stream here, but I still got to have commercials unless I want to pay a premium to not have commercials. All we did was create a big cycle when TV already had commercials to subsidize all of the costs to show us these TV shows and movies. And now we're just back to that. We're paying individual companies now to show us what we want to show, and they're still giving us commercials because we don't have this plethora of options to just choose from. I know gaming is like, it's just a very different type of niche. It's a different type of demographic, and they have to figure it out. There's no way we can just keep letting everybody make a streaming service and then we got to pay all of them to play the games we want. And not only that, we're paying a premium to even, sometimes they want you to stream, and then you see why Google Stadia failed. You're paying to get on it, then you're paying for the games individually. It's all bad. And this is just messed up after the goodwill that Prince of Persia has brought upon Ubisoft, because that game has gotten nothing but praises recently. Avatar, the Pandora game, I think is okay received. It's not great, but I heard it wasn't shit. I thought it was gonna be shit, but it's not shit. Yeah, I just don't know what's gonna happen here, y'all. Like, Ubisoft is either gonna sink or swim. All these companies are either gonna sink or swim, because it's getting down to the wire of what people think they can spend their money on. And all these streaming services, y'all not all gonna make it. Thanks for tuning in to Logix Lens, where the game is winning. I'm out.